is going on, everybody? My name is Josh. Welcome to my channel. And I'm about to give you my 2-cent review for the film Resident Evil from 2002. This is based off the video game by Capcom, and it is directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, and it stars Milla Jovovich, Michelle Rodriguez, and Eric Mabius. Now, to give you guys a quick synopsis of the film, it's about a woman named Alice who wakes up in a mansion with a slight case of memory loss, and then she doesn't know who she is, what she is, or where she is. So all of a sudden, then a bunch of paramilitary dudes for no reason show up in this mansion. Very, very much so, like one of the most ridiculous entrances with paramilitary dudes, busting through windows, throwing flash grenades and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous, over the top nonsense. They end up hauling her and this random cop that ends up in the mansion with her unexpectedly. They go down to this underground facility below the mansion called the Hive, where they have to figure out why all of the employees were killed. When I will give you that spoiler alert right now and saying they were all killed by the T-virus. For all you video game nuts who know the storyline, they are killed by the T-virus. They are now undead. Now when the team finds out that that's what's going on, they have 3 hours to get out of there before the whole virus gets unleashed upon the earth, and then everything gets wiped out. Okay, so let's get started with my likes. I like the fact that this movie had a pretty bomb score. I think the score of this movie is actually really, really well done. The fact that it was also done by Marilyn Manson and Marco Beltrami. Marco Beltrami is known for his score for the film Scream, and Marilyn Manson is obviously known for his shock rock persona. But I think what Marilyn Manson came up with the Resident Evil score was pretty on point. For the tone of the film, I think it worked brilliantly, and I think it was one of the best film scores, one of the most, like, you can get jazz to it kind of film scores out there. And I also really much enjoyed the first zombie attack. The first zombie you see in the movie is actually really freaky looking. It kind of felt like they were actually trying for a moment of dread and a moment of, like, yeah. I think that was a good attempt. I don't want to dog that for that reason. So I feel like the first zombie attack sequence with the score, with the action and stuff like that, it actually flowed very well, and I got a lot out of that moment. And it's actually the first zombie movie at the time that came out, and it actually started the zombie craze that we all know today, and it's now ending with The Walking Dead. But that's about all that the movie's got going for it, unfortunately. Let's move on to my dislikes, shall we? There's not much to like about this movie as far as the story is concerned. It's very generic, but at the same time, it doesn't make a shred of sense. Like, why? If you know the games and you know the storyline, it's like, okay, the Umbrella Corporation is what set this whole chain of events off. Why send down other Umbrella employees to investigate this when they already know what's going on? It makes no sense. Which then brings it down to the fact that the characters are very disposable. You don't care. You don't latch on to them. There's no emotional weight or validity to these characters. They're just like I said, they're disposable. You just don't care about what happens to them. And that's what, actually about any of them. You don't care about any of these characters. Damn. Woo! But the other thing I don't like about this movie is that it has too much action. Too much action. This movie needed to focus more on the horror, what the video games did. The video games were all about the dread, the claustrophobic settings and stuff like that, which pulled it off beautifully. The movie had its claustrophobic settings, but it infused action too much, and it didn't make you feel like the stakes were all that high. And the zombie attack moments after the first whole attack, when they are all revealed, it kind of gets lackluster from that point. They just hit a zombie here and there, here and there, here and there, and that's about it. And then all of a sudden they hit the liquor, and then they gotta defeat the liquor, get out of the facility, and then that's it. It's like, it didn't give you enough to really kind of get anything out of it. There was no satisfaction on that front. And the fact also that we got an action heroine nobody from here on out cares about. Nobody cares that Alice is now going to be the hero of a 6-film franchise. If it was Jill Valentine, if it was Chris Redfield from the video games, there would have been more reason to get on board, but there wasn't, and that's one of the biggest disappointments of the franchise overall, not just the film itself, the one film. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you guys, see the film once, because it's a video game adaptation, and we all know how video game adaptations are, and there's a lot to choose from. This is not the worst I've seen, and I'm looking at you, Street Fighter. I hate that movie. Just letting you know. Resident Evil is not the worst. I've seen plenty worse. It's definitely a guilty pleasure film. Obviously, James Cameron, writer director of Titanic and Avatar, has said that this is his biggest guilty pleasure film of all time. Interesting choice, I will definitely say. Never would have thought that this would have been the film that he would have picked, but nonetheless, it's a guilty pleasure film, whereas the other films in the franchise are just downright horrible. So that's my 2 cents on Resident Evil. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of this film? Did you like it? Did you think it wasn't the worst video game adaptation? Do you think that Tell me what you guys' thoughts of what they could have done to make this movie better. And until next time, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll have more content coming to you guys very, very soon. Until then, kick ass, and see you later.